Okay, so I'm over here, the same area that we were yesterday, which was like the area where the play is. I'll let you see. And if you want to know why my voice sounds pretty high sometimes, that's because when I get nervous, when I make these videos, I get pretty nervous. I just kind of skip R, so I sound like this. Oh, we gotta go someplace else. That was me using L's too much though. But I'm gonna tell you a story about what happened yesterday when I was walking back home. So when I was walking back home, I'm shaking the camera around. When I was walking back home, I was like, people look at me because my bike is bright yellow, like you're gonna see this all the time. Like people even stick their heads out the windows and they're like, I'm just like, okay, fine. Have you never seen a yellow bike before? Like, I've never seen a bike this yellow, and since it was so different, I wanted it. That's why. So I got the bike about a year ago, and I'm finally riding it around because there was nowhere I could ever bring it to. And now I'm gonna get on with the story. So I was walking back home. I walk my bike back home sometimes instead of actually like, because I can't bring it up hills because I don't have like the strength in my legs yet. And I was just like, you know, looking around, and then I saw these like two teenagers. We were both probably 14, just a year older than me, and they kind of just looked at me like they were right next to each other, like this is the girl and this is the boy, and they just started staring at me like with these huge eyes. I like heard them talking from like before I came there, but like but like they just stared at me, and I felt so uncomfortable because that's just weird. Like why would they stare at me? That's strange. And they just, you know, looked at me, and then I kind of went behind trees. So like, here's the trees, and I kind of go like that, and then so they didn't exactly see me. So once I was kind of out of their sight, I just turned back around being like, are they still staring at me? And when I turned back around, they're already making out. So it's just like, but they were standing in the middle of the road. Like the road was right here, and they were on this one of like, when I was going by, I could see them standing there. So they just started making out. It was really uncomfortable and weird. And I could, like, I wasn't that far away yet, and they just already start, and then, like, I actually, like, heard the part. It was hilarious. And then I kind of made this really disgusted face. Like, they didn't see me, though, look back at them. And I don't know, I'm just afraid they thought I was younger than I actually am, because that's one of my biggest fears. People thinking I'm, like, 9. I don't know, I'm just a little bit afraid of that, because it's just like, I'm not. I mean, I am 13, that's pretty young, but like, it's not as young as 9. Like, they could have just already been making out. It's just that it's the fact that they're in the middle of the road. Like, you know, if they were like standing like in their backyard or something, but like, I know that those houses they were by weren't their houses, because like I've seen the people that live there and it's not them. So I guess they were like meeting each other because like maybe their parents don't want them to be together. But if the people that were making out on the road, watch this. I want you to know, I saw you guys. I saw you. I was gonna tell you guys another story. Another one in a day. Here it is. Okay, so I was at camp not that long ago. About a month ago, and didn't feel like a month ago. And this, okay, so I was in the bus. Okay, let me start from the very, very beginning. So I was, you know, in the morning getting ready, and they, you know, calling people to go to breakfast and things at camp. And then after you would do breakfast, you would do something else, I forgot what it was. And then you would go like to buses, like buses or vans to go to your next site or something. And then there's like 2 ones I could go to. It's like going outside or like going to build something, and like I choose the outside one. Of course I did. And I saw like these, like 2 guys were sitting in front of me on the bus, and this one girl sitting next to me. And then I forgot, like, on the makeup brush when we were, like, going there, you know how sometimes things fall out of your bag? Well, like, my bag fell down, and then, like, all these makeup brushes and things fell out, and I didn't pick up all of them, and this happened a while ago, so I guess one of them was still there, and then this guy picks it up, and then he's like, what is this? And then he starts feeling the makeup brush because, you know, it's soft, and he likes it. And then he's just telling his friends, hey, is this a makeup brush? And they're like, yeah, I think it is. And then they're saying like, oh, hey, let's make up a name. Hey man, like, whatever. Hey man, let me go do your makeup. And then they pretend to do makeup on each other with my makeup brush, which is like that. And then they start fighting over and trying to put it in their pocket. Like, they actually start fighting over my makeup brush. So I'm sitting behind there being like, this is very awkward because I just wanted it back, and I felt very embarrassed that they got it. And then, like, yeah, I didn't get it back because I was too scared to ask them. And I was just like, oh, what do I do? Because they took my makeup brush. And then, like, the next day, I'm like, hey, I'll do a prank on them this time. And then I brought a bigger makeup brush, and then right before they sat down in the seat I knew they were gonna sit in, because, like, they sat in the same, like, bus seats every time. I put one there, and then he's like, man, what is this? What is this? This is another makeup brush? And then, you know, same thing happens as yesterday. They start fighting over it, and then they try to hide in their pockets and pretend to do makeup on each other, which is very strange. So I was laughing at this happening, and then I asked for it back. So I was like, I put that there, can I have it back? And the guys were like, why? I'm like, because I wanted to see your reaction. Now I felt really nervous, because these are like, I don't want to say it like how I'm gonna make it sound, but like they were the kids, you know, like the ones people know more. And I wasn't, because just people don't know me. It's strange. Like, I've probably introduced myself to the same people like 4 times. So I don't know, I'm just a forgettable person, I guess. And they just like look at me, and then I just asked for it back. And then he's like, no. And I asked for the other one back. And then he's like, no, it's already on my, like, it's already on the counter in my bathroom, like, of his little cabin he was in with his friends. Like, about one cabin will hold 8 people, and there's a lot of stories that happened at this camp, so this will not be the only one, because it was very interesting. And then what happened after that was it was embarrassing. It was just like, so he doesn't give it back to me, and then I'm just like, I want to give it back, and I'm really, really, really sad. And then, so he has the other makeup brush, but he also has the other one that he said he put at his, like, what was it, cabin? Yeah, that he put it at his cabin. It's like I'm about to say dorm, but it's a cabin. Kind of close. And he said it's already on, like, the bathroom counter. He starts laughing. And his friend is kind of laughing too. You know, it's him and his stupid friend. Okay, well, if they ever see this, I don't think you guys are stupid right now, but this made me angry. And then, like, so he just doesn't give it back to me. And then I'm just like, should I grab it away from him? So what I do is I sit back down, because first time I was sitting, like, first day when they took the first makeup brush, I sat behind them, but this time I made sure to sit in front of them so I could get a better thing of, like, what their reaction would be with the other brush. You understand? And they just kind of, they're like looking at me, and then they just don't give it back, and they still, he's like petting the makeup brush, and then a guy asked him that didn't know what was going on, being like, dude, why are you holding a makeup brush? Then he's like, oh, I just found it here. And then he doesn't put it in his pocket. Last time he put the other one in his pocket. I didn't want it back, because it was like all over his friend's face and his face, which, you know, it's like 14-year-old boy's face. I don't want that on my makeup brush. And they still have it. Made me so angry. But then, guess what happens next? Once he gets off the bus, because he gets off the bus before I do, I pick it up really fast, and then I put it, like, in my purse. Yeah, I had a purse, so I put it back in my purse. And then he's like, oh, where is it? When he gets back, he's like, where is it? And then, you know, I'm just, being sneaky, and I don't say anything. He doesn't ask me. He's just like, oh, it's gone. But, so I got one back, and that's the one, you know, I kind of gave them until, like, I was going to get it back, because I didn't exactly have a plan to get it back, but I wanted to know what would their reaction be, like, when I took it. So, same day after we get back from the site, I'm like, all the girls that were in my cabin weren't at the same like side as me. So I was with all these people I didn't know I wasn't friends with, and well, I tried to be friends with them, but you know, I guess they just don't want to be my friend. Okay, and they were just like, why ask for your makeup brush back? And I'm like, no, I don't want to ask him. That's embarrassing. And I've already asked him. And then they're just like, and I'm like, I don't want it back anyway. And they're like, no, it's your makeup brush. You need to get it back. And then I had a plan to where both of the girls in there were gonna go up to him and then ask for it back. Now I've already tried to ask for it back, but he was standing. Well, he was sitting next to his friend. Not like all. So when he was around all these girls and stuff that were gonna be listening. Both of my friends walked over there and they're like, hey, can you give us our friend's makeup brush back? And he's like, then his face is all like, oh, and then he like runs inside and then he gets it, and then he says he doesn't know where the other one is. And when he says that, that's like the one I had, and that I sort of gave him, and then I got it back. And then that's it. That's it. I get it back, and then I clean it off. Like, I have to clean it off because it's put in his pocket. It was on his friend's face. He was touching it, and like, it was also on his bathroom counter, which is strange. But then I got it back. So, that's what happened, and it's very interesting. It's not that interesting. Hey, girl. Why did I do that? Hopefully you enjoyed that.